Welcome back to my Python tutorial. I hope you all must be very fine and doing well also. This is my third session of list manipulation. And in two sessions, you have seen certain function of the list, what list is, and how to create a list, what are the different ways to create a list. And today we are going to discuss about some of the functions which we couldn't again complete in the session 2. And that is what objective is, list functions like insert, pop, remove, clear, count, reverse, sort and sorted. I'll discuss at length these all functions and its purpose. Then the difference between append and extend and difference between sort and sorted, we'll discuss that also. Then the nested list and to-do list and creating a to-do list and deleting element from a list. These are the objectives of today. Let's see one by one. Functions, as you all know, it's a ready-made again tools with us that can be used again to perform the same task. For example, I want to find out the length of any list. I have a len function. Wonderful. Just use the len function. It will give you the length of your list. And how easy it is. That is what function is. It basically in function, we write the Python statement, more than one statement we wrap together with a unique name that we saved and we run it according to our need. That is what function is. Now, certain function that we'll discuss, and out of it the first function is insert, as you can see here. Now first function that I'm going to talk is insert, I-N-S-E-R-T, insert. Now insert is a method or is a function which help us to insert any element in a list anywhere. Mind it, is a method that we use to insert an element at any place. It means this method will expect the index position where you want to insert. For example, suppose L is a list or L1 is a list and having the element 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now our requirement is to insert something else at the second position in the list. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. Now at second position, I want to insert an element. So how to use this insert method? You have to say list L1 dot insert. This is a method. And inside it, you have to pass the two parameters. Take the two parameters. First is the index position and second is the element. These are the two parameters that you have to pass here, mind it. So index is second position as I mentioned and the element is suppose 20. Now once someone will use the L1 dot insert under bracket 2 comma 20, it means at the second position which is 3 yet currently 20 will be inserted. So your final list will be L1 will be 1, 2, then 20, then 3, 4, 5. This is how insertion takes place or what the purpose of insert method. I hope it's very easy to understand. It's a method which helps us to insert an element at a particular index position. That's why it takes the two parameter. Parameter means within bracket you have to pass it and the which list you want to insert, that you write dot insert I-N-S-E-R-T under bracket 2 comma 20 means at the second, that is the second index, that is the third element. Mind it, because the list element always start with a 0. So at the second index, that is the third element itself, you want to insert the 20. This is how and what the purpose of insert. Now next method is pop. As you can see, pop. Now pop method basically help us to delete an element. The purpose of pop is simply to delete an element. Mind it. But if you are using the pop without anything, it will simply again delete the last element like L1 dot pop and open close bracket. If I'll use this statement in Python, it will delete the last element of my L1, that is a 5 from it, since I have just used L1 dot pop. But you can use, but this pop method always return the value that has been deleted. It will give you the output 5. It means the 5 as an element has been deleted from the L1. But if you want to delete a particular element, then you can use the L1 as a list dot pop and inside the bracket you can mention the element that you want to delete. Is it fine? The pop method simply again help you to delete it. That must be very clear. But pop can be used in the two different ways. One is you can mention the index. You can mention the index positions whatever you want. And you can also mention the without it. Once I'm not using any index, it means it will delete the last element, and if I'll mention the index, then it will delete the element from that index. For example, from the L1 I want to delete the first element, that is 0, so I can say 0. What it will do now, it will delete the first element, that is a 0 index element, from the list L1. So these are the two again application of the pop. You can use it to delete the last element, you can use to delete any element from any index. In that case you have to push the or pass the index position of that list with the pop. Now next is remove. Now remove method and pop does the same job. We have a remove method. Now remove also remove a particular element from the list, but mind it, it takes the parameter as an element, not the index. So if you want to apply the remove method, you simply say L1 dot remove, and inside the bracket I have to mention which element I want to remove. Suppose 20 I want to remove, so you have to say 20. So wherever 20 is, it will be deleted from that. So this is L1 dot remove 20. Remove never return a value, but pop return a value that element has been deleted, and here it will simply silently remove it. After removing, if you'll see the list, you will see the 1 2 3 4 5 20 will be not there because you remove. That is how remove method is. Now next is clear. Fourth method of today is a clear method. Clear method simply clear a list. So application will be L1 dot clear. And since it's clear the all elements, so nothing is required with the clear element function, you can simply say L1 dot clear, open close bracket, that's the denotation of the function, and it will clear all element. Now next element function is a count. So fifth function of today is a count. Now count method simply count the number of occurrence of a particular element or number of availability of particular element in a list. So you can use L1 dot count, and inside the bracket you will say a particular element. Suppose a list having a element repeated 2 times, suppose 2 I said. In this case there is no 2 is only 1 time, so it will give you only 1. So L1 dot count 2 means the occurrence of the 2 in the list L1, it will count and it will return the number of occurrence, number of times that element is present in that list. That is how the count is. Reverse. Reverse method simply again help us to reverse a list. So if you want to reverse any list, you can use the reverse method of the list. REVRSE, reverse. So how to use it? Simply you can say L1 dot reverse. Now this method will return the reverse element, but it will reverse the same again in that L1 because it's not returning. Once we'll apply the L1 dot reverse, what will happen? The element of the list 1 will be reversed. So 5 4 3 2 1. In this case, if your list element having same 1 2 3 4 5, it will give you 5 4 3 2 1. That is how to reverse a string. And then we have a 2 more method, sort, and now next 7th number method is sort, SORT. Now sort method simply again sort and list. Arrange a list in ascending or descending order. So if a list is supposed to be sorted, required to be sort out, you can say simply sort and open close bracket. Your list L1 will be sorted in ascending order and element will be stored in the L1 only. So now L1 is a rearranged list. If you have a 1 2 3 4 5 or suppose 1 2 20 3 4 5, after this statement it will give you 1 2 3 4 5 20, because this is the arranged way. If you want to arrange the same list in the reverse order, then you have to pass one more parameter. Here it is a reverse equal to true. Once we'll say reverse equal to true with the sort method, L1 dot sort and reverse equal to true, it means we want to arrange this element of the list L1 in the reverse order. Means it will give you now 20, then 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. You may give this parameter, these are optional, you may say reverse equal to true or you may use without it. But the sort method sort the actual list, so you haven't the original now after sorting. And another method sorted does the same job, but it returns the sorted element of the list in a different variable. And original list will be always there with you. The method that helps us to sort again any list, but the usage of sortage is completely different. For example, L1 equal to 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 7, 6. This is what list is. And I want to sort it and I want to arrange in L2. So L2 is my empty list. So there are two situations, one is a list and there is another list that is empty list. So you created L2 as an empty list. Now, means L2 equal to open close bracket, you have to say then only L2 will be empty. Now how to use this sorted method? You have to say L2 equal to and then sorted itself is a method. Inside the bracket it takes the list as a parameter. Which list you want to sort? L1. This is one of the way. What it will do, it will take the parameter as a list and sort it and arrange or stored in L2. So L2 list has been created with the sorting feature. It means if you see the L2, L2 will give you what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6, then 7. Why? Because you sorted the L1 and you stored in the L2. So this method return a value as a sorted output of the particular list that you passed in a parameter. If you want to sort in a reverse order, same syntax will be there. Just you have to say L2 equal to sorted, this method, and then again the parameter will be the same L1, comma, and the parameter is optional reverse equal to true. And once you say reverse equal to true, in this case, L1 will be sorted in a reverse order and stored in L2. So what will be the output? L2 will show you what? It will show you 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is how sorted method works. So what the basic difference between sort and sorted that you can easily predict now, this sort method never takes the list as a parameter. It simply again use the L1 dot sort and sort the list and stored in the same list. So there is no again like the old list you may have after sorting. Here it returned the sorted again list and stored in a variable. So it's returned, it takes the list as a parameter, and these two differences you can keep in mind once there is some differences between sort and sorted. Someone will ask you. Okay. So I hope these all methods starting from the insert, generally used to insert an element in a list, pop just to use to delete a particular element. If you are using without any parameter, it will delete the last element. And if you're using with a parameter, then index position you have to mention and you delete that element. Remove method, simply remove an element. The element you have to pass in a parameter. Clear method, simply clear all the element. Count method, simply count the number of occurrence of particular element that you had mentioned with the count. As you have seen the count here. And the reverse, simply reverse a list, sort, simply arrange the list in ascending and descending order. Sorted also does the same, but it returned and it never returned. So if someone will ask you what the difference between sort and sorted, mind it, sort method simply help us to arrange the element of a list and stored in the same list. Sorted method arrange a list and stored in a different list. So original list is always intact. Sorted method return a value. Sort method never return a value. Both having the parameter reverse equal to true if you want. That is how and what the difference is sort and sorted. So I hope list functions is very clear, and the difference between append and extend, the last again video of mine, I started append and extend. Append method is used to append an element in a list, but mind it, append means it will only add that element at the last. So this is what append is. Extend help us to extend a list with some other list, or it also help us to add or append more than one element together. So how to use this both, that you must be knowing, that we already discussed. So difference between append and extend is append takes one element that you want to add at the last. Extend can use a list name also as a parameter to extend a list with some other list. Extend can use more than one element in a list by which you want to extend the list, but this always takes one again element and will be added to the last. This also extend takes place after the first again list element, when the list element is over, then it will extend or it will add that, but it will take a list parameter. This will only take an element as a parameter. This generally used to add an element at the last. This used to extend a list with some other list or set of element. This is the difference between append and extend. Now nested list, we already discussed about the nested list. Once a list, suppose for example we have an L1 and equal to, see carefully because nested list you have to understand well. Suppose we have a 20 and 30, and in third element we have a 40, 50. Then we have a 60, 70, and then again we have 80 and 90 in the form of a list. Suppose this is my list L1, and I hope it's very clear to understand. Having a list L1 which having the 0, if you'll see the index position, let's see 0, 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. So total